Okay, let's dive right in. If you've got a business, you've almost certainly got a website. But have you ever really stopped to ask yourself if it's any good? Is it actively winning you customers? Or could it be, secretly working against you?
I want you to think about it like this. Your website, it's your digital handshake. It's the very first time a potential customer meets you. So here's the real question. Is your website showing up to that job interview looking sharp and ready to impress, or is it kind of rolling up in sweatpants?
And that first impression, it's more critical now than ever before. Why? Because a massive 80% of consumers use Google to find local businesses. I mean, just let that sink in. That's 8 out of every 10 potential customers meeting your website before they ever meet you. The takeaway here is pretty simple. You absolutely cannot afford a bad first impression online.
So that brings us to the big question. Why do so many of these digital first impressions just fall flat? What's the fundamental mistake that most businesses are making online right now?
Well, here it is. For years, businesses have treated their websites like some static online brochure. A simple page with contact info, a list of services, and that's about it. But that's the old way of thinking. Today, your website has to be an active, engaging customer experience that instantly communicates your value.
And what happens when websites don't deliver that experience? The data? Well, the data is crystal clear. A staggering 74% of online consumers get frustrated by content that isn't relevant to them. And guess what? Another 74% will just leave if a site is hard to browse. You're not just failing to impress them, you're actively pushing your potential customers away.
And look, this just brings us right back to where we started. This quote sums it all up perfectly. Your website is your digital outfit for that all-important first meeting. You only get one shot, so you've got to make it count.
Okay, so if the old online brochure way is broken, what's the new way? It requires a complete shift in how we think about marketing. And that shift is all about one thing: moving from talking about yourself to telling a story that's all about your customer. This is really the heart of it. So many business owners think they have a design problem, that they just need a prettier website with different colors or fonts. But the real issue, it's so much deeper. It's a messaging problem. The story your website is telling is either confusing, or even worse, it's completely irrelevant to the person visiting. And the legendary marketer Bozoma St. John just puts it beautifully here. Modern marketing isn't about a list of features and benefits anymore. It's about connection. It's about using the power of storytelling to build a bridge between your brand and a person who genuinely needs what you offer. So what this really boils down to is a new set of rules. You have to invite customers into a story where they are the hero, and your brand is just the trusted guide. And you got to remember, success today isn't about having the absolute best product. It's about having the clearest, most understandable message. That's how you cut through all the noise out there and actually win. All right, this leads us to the big solution. It's a philosophy for fixing this whole problem, and it's a concept called web ambience. It is all about strategically crafting a digital environment that actually does its job. The easiest way to get this is with a real-world example. Have you ever walked by a store or a little cafe and everything about it, the lighting, the design, the general vibe, it just pulls you in and makes you think, I've got to check that place out? That feeling, that's ambience. And that's the exact same feeling we're talking about, just in a digital format. Web ambience is that vibe, translated online. It's the strategic mix of clarity, feeling, and flow that makes a visitor instantly get what you're about and feel like, yep, I'm in the right place. And this isn't just some vague vibe either. It actually breaks down into 4 really solid elements. You've got clarity first design, so there's zero confusion; strategic visual storytelling, so every image backs up your message; a conversion-optimized flow to gently guide people to take action; and finally, being memorable and distinct, so you actually stand out from the crowd.
So that's the what. But how in the world do you actually do it? Well, the great news is that web ambience isn't just a cool theory. It's a practical, repeatable process that anyone can follow.
And honestly, this is what makes it so powerful. It's not about guesswork or just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. It's a clear, actionable game plan that any business can use to transform their website from a passive brochure into an active, lead-generating machine. And the method itself? It's refreshingly simple. It all breaks down into 3 core steps. Step 1. Clarify your message. Who are you helping and how? Step 2. Design an experience that visually communicates that clarity. And Step 3. Convert visitors into customers with a super obvious path to action. Clarify,
design, convert. That's it.
And the ultimate goal of this three-step method is to guide a potential customer through their entire journey, from the moment they become aware that you exist to when they're actively considering you as an option, and finally, to making that decision to choose you. A great website does all three of those things seamlessly. So let's wrap all this up by completely reframing how we think about our websites. What is their real job in our business? Is it just a line item on a budget? Or is it something much, much more?
We have to get past this old, outdated idea of an online brochure. Your website is a dynamic, living, and absolutely vital part of the modern customer journey. For most people, it practically is the customer journey.
Ultimately, it really all comes down to this. Your website has a job to do 24/7. It must be actively building trust with clear messaging, it must clarify your unique value, and it must make it incredibly simple for customers to take that next step.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty powerful question to think about. Is your website just a passive digital asset sitting on a server somewhere collecting digital dust? Or is it your hardest working, most effective employee constantly out there working to grow your business? The choice really is yours.